In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your Stinger transition in OBS Studio. Okay, so Stinger transitions are a pretty cool addition to one's stream. They add a bit of production value. They look cool. So say you're playing some Fortnite, you just got stream sniped.
Stream sniping.
And then you want to change scenes to your intermission lobby. To do that, let's run through it. So head over to the scene transitions section here. Hit the plus icon, and then select Stinger. By default, it's going to be called Stinger. You can call it whatever you want. For this demonstration, we'll just leave it as is. Now the video file is the transition video that you have. So click Browse, locate it wherever you have it saved, double click it, and there you go. These settings we will mess with in a second. Just want to show you what it looks like by default. Wait, hey. All right, so hit OK. Head over to your scenes, and then let's see how it looks right now. Not good, right? Because this scene that we're looking at right now is supposed to delay a bit before this transition effect happens. So to do that, we'll go to Properties and mess with the transition point. So I always just start off with 1,000. 1,000 is 1 second. 1,000 milliseconds equals 1 second. And then I'll play around with it from there. So 1,000. Test it out again. Almost. You can see that the scene still transitioned a bit too early. So now let's try something else. Let's just double it to 2,000. Hit OK. Try it again. And hey, there we are. That looked pretty good. Perfect, if I might say. So on my end, I don't hear sound. You might, I don't think you can either. But so this transition has sound playing, but I'm not hearing it because the audio monitoring is set to off by default. If you want to hear the sound, okay, monitor off by default means you don't hear it, but your stream will always hear it no matter what. Even if you don't hear it, they're going to hear it. But if you want to hear it as well, then go to monitor and output. And then there's the sound. And that's it. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. And all these graphics that you see in these scenes, this transition, this webcam overlay, all that kind of stuff, you can download.
OBS, and I've just got a couple of different scenes set up, a game scene with Apex running and then a just chatting scene, just to simulate the switch between the two. You can see right now there's a fade animation between the two scenes, and we're going to replace that with our Stinger. So all you need to do is come across to the scene transitions bit here. If you don't see this dialog, then just go to View, Docs, and make sure you have scene transitions enabled. And we're going to add a new transition. So click the plus button, choose Stinger, name our Stinger. We can just leave it as Stinger if we want, and we can see a little preview here. We want to browse to find that video file that we just had. So I saved that, I think, in a working project. Yep, there it is. And all we need to do here really is set the time transition point, or the frame transition point. Now, if you followed along with this guide, you remember that we had full coverage of the transparency at 1 second in, exactly halfway through. If you've adapted that and changed it, make sure to note down the time when you have full coverage and you actually want OBS to swap the scenes in the background. So for us, that was 1 second in, so we're going to type in 1,000 milliseconds. You can do frame instead of time if you know the frame number instead. And then the only other option we want to change is this audio monitoring. I would recommend changing this to monitor and output. That just means that we're also going to hear the audio of our Stinger as well as sending it out to our stream. We can click preview transition here, and it's just going to do the actual transition for us, so you can see between the two scenes, B to A or A to B. It seems to be working really, really nicely. Just as an example, if we left this set at 0 for our transition point, we're going to see the transition happen, so we're going to see A go to B and then our transition play, which isn't what we want to do. We want the transition to happen when there's full coverage, which is at 1 second in. So that's it. All we have to do is click OK, and then we can test out our transition. And it looks great to me. Works both ways as well. It's nice, quick, playing and really brings the branding out for our stream. So I'm very, very happy with that. If you are using Stream Elements OBS Live, the process is exactly the same. The layout is the same as normal OBS. But if you're using Streamlabs OBS, the process is pretty similar, but just the menu is in a different position. So it's this cogwheel above your scenes. You want to click, you want to add a transition. Again, you want to make sure that it's a stinger. You can name it stinger if you wish to. You actually need to enter the duration here. So for us, that's 2 seconds long, which is 2000 milliseconds. Browse for our video file and then set the transition point, which is halfway through, 1000 milliseconds. Change the audio monitoring again to monitor and output, and then click done. And if we test that out, we should see that our transition works perfectly.